All right, so here we are. The house itself looks pretty cool. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing like condition of the outside because we're just renting it. So that's, for the landlord to worry about, not for you, but it does look like it's been reasonably well maintained. I don't see like, holes in the roof or anything like that. So the biggest detractor is going to be its proximity off of Braddock Road. So you're going to have some road noise outside for sure. I don't know about inside. I'll let you know when I get out there. It is far enough back that I wouldn't worry about like my kids, getting hit by a car or anything. If you were the first house on the street, I think I would be more concerned about that. But you're a few houses in here, so I wouldn't worry about it from a safety standpoint, just from a drawback on sound standpoint. But this is a large lot. It has this big turnaround driveway here. So, or not turnaround, but like you can just drive around. So that's really nice. So that's ensuring that you're not having to back out onto this street here. It's a big lot. There's lots of things in the yard in the back that we'll see. So this is a 2-car garage, which is nice and not usually something we'd find in this price range. So that's cool. There is this kind of extra tent thing, and we can look and ask some more details about what's included with the rental and what's not. Sometimes you don't have access to things like this. I don't know, I could ask, but it's currently mostly empty, using as a shed, it looks like. So we'll just kind of walk around real quick. So the yard could be cut. It's probably been vacant for a little while, or just when they were moving out, they didn't cut the yard. So we see basement exit here. So yeah, I mean, the house definitely is a little bit beat up on the outside, I would say, but this is a really cool space back here. This looks like a really cool space here too. I'm actually pretty excited to get in and see this one. So there's another little shed there, and really cool pergola. Nice here with some firewood. That fence is leaning a little bit back there, but again, that's more of the owner's problem, not your problem. The yard is not fully fenced. So that is, kind of one thing to keep in mind. But here is kind of the side yard. Looks like another air conditioning unit there. So I guess we'll just keep walking around in a circle and then we'll head on inside. So I could see, little boys having fun playing in the little wooded area right here. This is definitely a great yard for imaginative play and adventure. Their school is in session today, unfortunately, so there's not really a good way for me to know if there's any kids on the street or anything like that. I do see a playground across the street there. At that house, they have a large kind of swing set back there. So that's one good sign for sure. And, so the road noise of Braddock, that's a bummer, but this is actually a great location for grocery shopping, library, parks, and other things like that. So, and the proximity to 495 really could not be overstated. So that'll cut down on commute quite a bit, being so close to the highway. So, all right, so here we go. And then give me a second and we'll head inside. All right, we're in. I'm standing in the entryway. So I can tell already this is going to be an interesting house. Pretty excited. You could definitely put a shoe cabinet or a little dresser or something here, for some shoe storage. And then we do have a coat closet. So there's a step up, which is kind of fun. But it's got beautiful cedar planking in it. And it's really deep. So you could hang 2 rows of coats, like winter coats back there, seasonal coats up here, whatever, and then switch. So that's nice. Big shelf up there too. So we come in here. These are likely the original wood floors. This is something they did back in the day. They'd cover the nail holes, which was nice. So we come in here and there's this really large living room. This is a really big space. So it's a little choppy because, you have a path of travel here. But even just this space here is a nice, good space. Oh, wow. Let's check this out. Okay. So I like this kind of indoor-outdoor feel we have going on here. It feels like a patio with windows. So it's really neat. I don't know why they covered that. We can investigate that a little bit further. But this is like a really cool kind of sunroom situation. Good playroom. The temperature in here feels pretty good. So I think it's going to be hotter in the summer and colder in the winter because this is an outdoor space. So I know you asked about that. Right now, the temperature is pretty constant. It's pretty consistent. It feels about the same as it does in here. And today it's really hot outside. So it doesn't feel sweltering in here. I would treat this as kind of like probably a 3-season porch. I can't imagine it would be warm in the winter, but you could get a space heater. They make some really good ones now. It's a big space. It's really nice too with the windows and the rock. It's not everyone's style, certainly, but it does look pretty cool. So here we have kind of like another, I don't know, some more room. This is just such a big room. Let's go up the stairs. All right, so this is the kitchen over here. Okay. All right, so this is a bedroom with a fireplace, very fancy. It does have overhead lighting, which is nice. I just looked at a $1.2 million house that didn't have overhead lighting. So if that tells you anything, nice closet space here. Yeah, so this is not a huge room, okay, but it is a nice one. It's a good size. It's definitely big enough for one kid to have a nice size bedroom. You could put two kids in here if you wanted to. This would also be a nice guest space. The fireplace, you know, I don't know how dangerous that is for kids as long as there's nothing to burn in there. I think if you just said don't mess with that, you know, it'll be fine. But it is a good size room. So here is the kitchen. And yeah, this is a nice kitchen. Okay, I wasn't sure what this house was going to be like, but this is actually nice. These are a contemporary color. They're a little bit red. I think if you go on Pinterest, like, you know, they're a little bit dated in color, but who cares? It's a rental. There's lots of drawers, which is nice. You have a double basin sink that outlooks the backyard, so you can keep an eye on the kids while they're playing. Lots of cabinets here. The fridge, all right, the fridge is older, but you know, they used to make them better. It probably works fine. It looks good. It's been cleaned. It's not gross. These are granite countertops. You have some workspace probably here. You know, there's also, this is big enough where you could put in a movable island, or you could put in something here. I don't know if this is technically the dining room or if this is an eat-in kitchen. This house is a bit like a maze. So we'll just keep going, but you could put a table here certainly, or you could put an island here for some additional workspace. Pantry, nice size pantry there, so you could fit lots of stuff in there. And then this is an exterior exit here that goes out, so you can see the kind of the carport thing. I'm not sure what they call that, but the temporary shed thing. Pardon my lack of words. So we're gonna keep going in the maze house. And then this probably goes to the garage, but let's find out for sure. All right, it does. All right, so, I mean, yeah, it's a garage. That's like a thing for the whole house power, I think. They used to put those into my house. We have an old house and it has one of those. So, I mean, you know, it's a garage. There's lots of room for storage in here if you wanted to. You can park 2 cars. Now, these 1-door bays here, it's probably not going to fit like an F-150 or something. If you have like a mega truck, they're not going to fit through those. But if you have normal sized cars, they do fit through those. So, okay. So I know I'm all over the place here. We are in the front now. So this is kind of one of those front windows. This looks like a laundry space. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So this would be like your mud room. You know, if you parked in the garage and you came in, you would see these cabinets here that there's a built-in closet. You could put a little bench to little kids to get their shoes on, coats. Here's the laundry. Okay. So washer dryer on the main level. That's nice. And this is a great kind of utility room here. So usually there's a bathroom near one of these, but let's keep looking. Okay. So there's that like eat-in kitchen, maybe the dining room. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I feel like you would eat in this room here. So I feel like this would be the kitchen, right? And then this would be the dining room. So I think this is what you'd use as the dining room. So you would definitely have room for a workstation island or something there if you wanted a little bit more counter space. There's that bedroom with the fireplace. And then here's that hallway that we started to go down. So here is a full bath. Really nice to have on the main floor. It's a basic bath. I mean, they didn't update the flooring or the shower, but the cabinet is newer and the mirror is newer. It's one of those fancy ones with the light and the peacock. So there is a fan in there. So, and then we have this mystery door. Ooh, which goes to a basement. Okay, it looks a bit like a dungeon. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna try it. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna risk my life for you. I'm just kidding. But down here, so there's a low clearance. You'd want to be careful. Okay, it is a bit like a dungeon. I was not wrong. You have a sink that I wouldn't use, furnace and all that stuff. And then Yeah, there's like spiders. I don't like spiders, but that you wouldn't use that area. That's not usable area. That's just dirt from the foundation probably. So down here, okay, so the basement is not a selling point of this home. We'll just be out with that. Sump pump. I mean, it looks fine. I'm sure it's reasonably, like, I'm sure it's fine. It's perfectly safe. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you wouldn't hang out in here. This would be additional storage, maybe some cozy coops in the winter. You know, if you swept it, it would be fine. It's gross kind of right now because I don't think it's ever seen a broom. But if you swept it and you had little boys on tricycles, you know, that would totally be, that would work. So up here, let's see. We have, okay, we'll continue on our quest in the maze house. So front bedroom, where are the other bedrooms? Must be this way. All right. So here's the main entry. Like if you were going to have guests come to the house, they would probably come in through here. Coat closet. And then this is the big living room. That's the kind of sunroom slash patio out there. And then over here, we will come up into the other wing of the house that has this beautifully updated bathroom. Wow, look at that. Surprise. And linen closet, big closet. So this is a ceramic tile. It's nice. It's flat, new cabinet, new mirror, basic light fixtures, exhaust. Shower was tiled in this century, so that's nice. Could use a little caulk right there, but you know, that's not a big deal. Just yeah, it's a good space. So this doesn't have a ton of counter space. I guess that would be the trade-off, but you could put a little cabinet here or a little rack, like a hook to hang more towels or whatever you needed there. And then with that big closet. And then over here, we have a bedroom with the lights in it, which is nice. This is a good sized bedroom. This floor is actually really cool. This is probably a really old floor, and some people would not think it's cool, but I think it's cool. It's wide. It's got the like different size planks. It has a lot of character. So we have a closet with a light. Very nice. So, and then here we have another closet with a light. So 2 walk-in closets, his and hers. Very nice. All right, so we'll come back out of this. And some of these doors are kind of dirty. Like you'd probably want to take a hot, like a, you know, a wet rag and wipe down some of these doors. It's just, it happens over time. Not a big deal. And then this is another bedroom here. Okay, so this bedroom walks out to the sunroom area. So this is a good size. It's not as big as that first one we saw, but it is a pretty good size. And then there's a closet and here. And so I'm going to take a look at your text again and reread it. So make sure I'm looking for exactly what you wanted. There were a lot of things. I think I forgot one about the bedroom layout. So I'm going to take a look at that and then I'll come back. Okay, I brushed up on the text. And so the bedroom situation here is probably not ideal. So we have for, you know, if I'm understanding correctly, and I'm also a sewist, so I understand the need for sewing machines and lots of fabric. This is the primary room here. So, you know, some of the trade-offs are this one are going to be this bathroom here. So this does not have an ensuite primary. That was normal for this time period this house was built. This is probably the second largest bedroom. And then this is the one, of course, right next to this one here. So depending on your kids' ages and if they could share a room, you know, they could share this room, or maybe you guys took this room and they shared this room. This one has better closets, but that one has the exterior exit. So kind of a toss up there, depending on, you know, how much your kids like to be outside. But this is a very large room that could definitely serve a couple purposes. But as far as, you know, this, I don't think there's a bonus space in here that could really be used as a 4th bedroom. So the house is really cool. It is a maze. I do believe you could use this for homeschooling for sure. I think it would be a little chilly in the winter, but you could solve that with a space heater. And honestly, if you like that outdoor feel, based on the temperature it is right now, I think it would be just a little chilly in the winter. So, you know, you could wear a coat. I mean, I know like, you know, outdoor schooling, and that's a big thing. So this is a good size space in here. You know, if your kids could share a room, then this becomes a great option for a guest room slash sewing room. Because, you know, you have the schoolroom there, and then you have this big living room here, and then you have the dining room here. And then, you know, you could also, I think, I don't know about this for like a sewing room, but you know, this could be the school room. And then the other room could be the sewing room. Um, so yeah, the basement, the basement wasn't really usable. I wouldn't think for, definitely not for a school room and definitely not for a guest room, depending on how you feel about spiders. It could be a sewing room, but, yeah, I think we basically covered anything in this house.